The day's other headlines start in the Middle East and the ratcheting up of hostilities between Israel and Hamas. For the first time since the resumption of fighting this week, Hamas fired rockets at Israel today, causing little damage. Israel, meanwhile, restarted its blockade on northern Gaza and ordered evacuations in several areas. Hospital officials in Gaza say at least 85 Palestinians were killed by Israeli airstrikes overnight and into today. In southern Gaza, crews rescued a one-month-old baby girl from a pile of rubble following an airstrike that killed her parents.
When we asked people, they said she's a month old and she's been under the rubble. Since dawn, she's been screaming and falling silent from time to time, until we were able to get her out a short while ago. Thank God she is safe.
Meantime, in Israel, police clashed with demonstrators near Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Jerusalem home as they protested his handling of the hostage crisis. An American detained by the Taliban for more than 2 years has been freed. George Glesman is en route from Afghanistan to the United States via Qatar, which helped to mediate his release. Officials say the U.S. did not swap anyone in return for his freedom. The airline mechanic from Atlanta was traveling through Afghanistan as a tourist when he was abducted in 2022. He is the third American freed by the Taliban since January. A U.S. official says that 7 Americans remain in Taliban custody. Turning now to the war in Ukraine, officials from across Europe are moving to form an international peacekeeping force as Russia and Ukraine work out the details of a partial ceasefire. The tentative deal was agreed to in principle yesterday. While in Brussels today, EU leaders heard a pitch from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky via video call, seeking approval for a $5.4 billion weapons package. He also said talks with President Trump to broker a broader peace deal have been productive.
Ongoing diplomatic efforts do not mean Russia should face less pressure. That's why we must keep pushing Russia toward peace together with you, of course, with the United States and with our partners. We can do this.
Negotiators from Moscow are set to meet with a U.S. team on Monday in Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, on the ground in Russia, officials say a Soviet-era bomber base seen here on security footage was struck by Ukrainian drones. It triggered a massive explosion that damaged a hospital as well as nearby schools and homes. The airfield hosts Russia's White Swan bombers, which are nuclear capable. In Turkey, thousands of protesters gathered for a second day following the arrest of Istanbul's popular mayor. Some students clashed with police amid growing anger over the detention of Ekrem İmamoğlu. He was arrested early Wednesday as part of a broader investigation into alleged corruption and terror links. By nightfall, thousands had gathered outside City Hall to protest what they see as an attempt to remove a potential rival to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in the next election. Erdogan today dismissed such criticism as, quote, theatrics. The International Olympic Committee elected its first woman and first African president in its 130-year history today. Zimbabwe's sports minister, Kirsty Coventry, won in a landslide in the first round of voting, beating out 6 other candidates. The 41-year-old swimming legend and former Olympian is also the youngest person to hold the powerful position. She's set to serve an 8-year term, during which she'll oversee the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles and the selection of a host for the 2036 Olympics. The release this week of tens of thousands of pages related to President John F. Kennedy's assassination has revealed a bit more than intended. The largely unredacted pages include Social Security numbers and other private information for hundreds of congressional staff, intelligence analysts, and others. Many of them are still alive. In one instance, the complete personnel file of a CIA agent was laid bare. The White House says the National Archives and the Social Security Administration are working on an action plan for the people whose information was compromised. Tesla is recalling nearly all of its Cybertrucks in the United States to fix an exterior panel that could fall off while driving. In a filing, Tesla said the recall affects just over 46,000 vehicles. It covers trucks made between November of 2023 and February of this year. And it's the 8th recall involving the SUV since January of 2024. The recall is the latest setback for Tesla. Its stock has lost about half its value since December amid increased competition and backlash over CEO Elon Musk's role in slashing government spending. On Wall Street today, stocks drifted lower amid general concerns about tariffs and the U.S. economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 11 points, so basically unchanged. The Nasdaq gave back nearly 60 points on the day, and the S&P 500 also ended modestly lower. And there's still plenty to be happy about in the world, especially if you live in a Nordic nation. That is according to the 2025 World Happiness Report published today by Gallup, which ranked Finland as the happiest country for the 8th year in a row. Fellow Nordic nations Denmark, Iceland, and Sweden, along with the Netherlands, round out the top 5. But here at home, unhappiness is on the rise, with the U.S. falling to 24th, its lowest ever. Rankings were based on how participants across more than 140 countries rate their own lives. Once again, Afghanistan came in last. Still to come on the News Hour, we speak with the Houthi foreign minister as the U.S. resumes strikes on Yemen. A restaurant owner's view on the lasting impact of the COVID pandemic. And how one artist transforms everyday objects into surreal sculptures.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein studio at WETA in Washington, and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.